Good morning, everybody. Today we are meeting with one of the lessons in grade 7, that is ruling centers of later periods. Now, let us see what is these ruling centers of later periods. Now, we know our first kingdom is Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka, and then the second kingdom is Polonnaru. Here, Anuradhapura and then Polonnaruwa. So, we know that after the collapse of this Polonnaruwa and Anuradhapura, we have many kingdoms in Sri Lanka. So, that is what we call the later periods of ruling centers. Because you know why Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa, these two kingdoms are very significant kingdoms and it lasted so many years. But when it comes to the kingdoms after Polonnaruwa kingdom, we see that there is only a short period of time in all of these kingdoms. That is what. That is why the Polonnaruwa and Anuradhapura is very much important for us, right? So the meaning of these ruling centers of later periods mean after the collapse of Polonnaruwa kingdom, we are having many kingdoms in Sri Lanka, right? Now, the first two kingdoms, we know that is Anuradhapura and the Polonnaruwa. Okay. Once again, we give another name for both of these two kingdoms, Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa. We call Rajarata. Sometimes we call Rajarata civilization, or sometimes we call Rajarata era. Anyway, Rajarata means Rajarata refers to both Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa kingdom. And then here, the meaning of this word is Raja in Sinhala, that is king, and Rata is the country. And in a simple term, we can say Rajarata means where kings lived, the country kings lived, or the place where kings lived. That is the idea of Rajarata. And once again, what we have remembered is Rajarata means, once again, in kingdoms, when we consider kingdom, it is Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa kingdom. Right. Now, what happened to Anuradhapura kingdom and why did it collapse? We know that there was a weak king in Anuradhapura kingdom. He was King Mihiru V. Now, during the time of King Mihiru V, there was an invasion from South India, that is Chola invasion. Now, in this map, we can see that here we have the Chola kingdom, and then here in South India we have three main kingdoms, that is Pallava kingdom, Pandya kingdom, and then the next one is Chola kingdom. So one of these kingdoms become powerful, they try to capture all the other countries which are surrounded by the India, because then only they can show their power and they can do whatever they like, and especially the trading activities and all. So at one time, Chola kingdom became very much powerful and then they came to Sri Lanka. So then at that time, it was Anuradhapura kingdom, and then the king was King Mihiru V. Right. When they came here, once again, they capture Anuradhapura kingdom and they did not live in Anuradhapura kingdom. They moved the kingdom to Polonnaru, that is for the easiness of trading activities. And being in Polonnaru, it is very easy to go to Trincomalee Harbour. And in ancient time, Trincomalee Harbour was known as Gokanna. Right. Now, the reason for the collapse of Anuradhapura kingdom was there was a weak king in Anuradhapura kingdom. He was King Mihiru V. And during that time in South India, Chola kingdom became much powerful. And they came and captured Anuradhapura kingdom. And then after that, they did not live in Anuradhapura. they moved the kingdom to Polonnaruwa. That is the reason. Now let us see the time period of Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay, now you see it was not a very short period. It's a very long period. It is 1,500 years. Not a small kingdom and not a small time period. It's very huge time period. 1,500 years. Then only the Anuradhapura kingdom collapsed. And now here I told you these two, the kings who came from Chola, especially the two kings came, King Rajaraja and King Rajendra. So, father and the son. Father is King Rajaraja, son is King Rajendra. Both of them came with their army, captured Anuradhapura kingdom, and they moved the kingdom to Polonnaruwa, and they began to rule Polonnaruwa. And then all the Rajarata area, the northern part of Sri Lanka, but they could not come down to the Sri Lanka, to southern part of Sri Lanka. Now, after that, we have a very brave king, King Vijayabahu the first. He fought with these Rajaraja and Rajendra and Chola kings, and then he freed the kingdom, and then he became the king in Polonnaruwa kingdom as the first king of Sri Lanka. After that, he united all the areas of Sri Lanka and became the king for the whole country. And then even he did not go to Anuradhapura, but he established his kingdom in Polonnaruwa. That is how we have the second kingdom of Sri Lanka, the Polonnaruwa kingdom. Okay, so here when we talk about Polonnaruwa kingdom, we have three great kings in Polonnaruwa kingdom, right? So King Vijayabahu, he united Sri Lanka, chasing away Chola. And then after sometimes we have King Parakramabahu, the great king. Once again, he also became a very huge king in Polonnaruwa, and he did so much of service to the agricultural activities. And then we have a very huge reservoir, that is Parakram Samudra in Polonnaruwa. And after that, we have King Nishangamalla. So, in Polonnaruwa kingdom, these were three main great kings in Polonnaruwa kingdom. And after some times, Polonnaruwa kingdom also collapsed. Collapsed means we know the destruction, the fall down. Let us see why the Polonnaruwa kingdom collapsed, the reason for this collapse, right? Okay, now we know there was another invention of Kalinga. Right? There was a person called Kalinga. He was also from South India. There was a kingdom called Kalinga. From Kalinga, a person called Maga came to Polonnaruwa kingdom and captured Polonnaruwa kingdom. The person who came from Kalinga area, we call Kalinga Maga. So when Kalinga Maga came, once again there was a very weak king in Sri Lanka, that is Parakrama Pandya, the last king in Polonnaruwa kingdom from Sri Lanka. Then Kalinga Maga came with a huge army. It says that 20,000 people the army consists of. So then they came here and they captured Polonnaruwa kingdom, and then they destroyed all the religious places, the kingdom, the valuable things, and he spread his power once again to the Rajarata area, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, and above Anuradhapura, the northern part of Sri Lanka. So all of these inventions, nobody could come down to Sri Lanka. That is mean nobody could capture the southern part of Sri Lanka, the Rupunurata we call it. So then, who is Kalinga Maga? Kalinga Maga, he was not a king. That is the speciality. It says that Kalinga Maga was a horse trader. Horse trader, just a businessman. Okay, so a businessman came with a huge army and captured Polonnaruwa kingdom. So So that is the end of Polonnaruwa kingdom. So this is how these two main kingdoms in Sri Lanka collapsed. Okay. Now let us see the time period of Polonnaruwa kingdom. Polonnaruwa kingdom lasted 150 years. So compared to Anuradhapura, this is a very short period. But still, Polonnaruwa kingdom, we talk very proudly, they are the main kings who did a great service to Sri Lanka. Right. Now let us move it to the other kingdoms in Sri Lanka. Now we know the first kingdom is Anuradhapura and the second kingdom is Polonnaruwa. So once this Rajarata civilization collapsed, kings began to establish different kingdoms in different places. Now, in order to remember the kingdoms in Sri Lanka, here we have a small sentence. So, it's a kind of a rhyming sentence. Apodaya kude ganin komali. Apodaya kude ganin komali. So then, every letter has its meaning. A stands for Anuradhapura. Po stands for Polonnaruwa. The stands for Dambadeni. Ya stands for Yapahuva. Pu stands for Kurunega. And G stands for Gambo. And then here, once again, Ko stands for Portrait and Ma stands for, in Sinhala we call Mahanur, but in English we call Can. So this is a small sentence that we can help, a small sentence which help us to remember the kingdoms in order in Sri Lanka. So Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Dambadeniya, Yapahuwa, Kurunegala, Gampola, Porte, and at last Kandy. Now, just after collapse of Polonnaruwa, we have 5 different kingdoms except Kandy, and Kandy is a special kingdom. So these 5 kingdoms, they are in Sri Lanka, but we cannot see a huge time period of these kingdoms. Sometimes even we cannot see 2-3 kings in one of these kingdoms. Sometimes only one king, sometimes only 2 kings. So that must show these kingdoms. Now let us see beginning of Dambadeniya kingdom, the third kingdom of Sri Lanka. Now we know the collapse of Polonnaruwa took place because there was the Inedapol Kalinamanga. He came and captured Anuradha, so the Polonnaruwa kingdom. And then once again, he tried to come down to the southern part of Sri Lanka. But there were 3 generals, a general named Sankar, a general named Suga, and Adipada Bhuvanegaba. There were 3 generals. They protected Sri Lanka without allowing Kalingamanga and his army come down to the southern part of Sri Lanka. Okay, so these 3 generals established 3 fortresses in 3 different places without allowing Kalingamanga and his army to come down to the southern part of Sri Lanka. Now here, a fortress on the Gandhenia rock in Minipe, and next one a fortress on the top of Yapahuva hill, and there was another one, a fortress on the top of Govindamale. Now here, this is where we find these 3 fortresses. Here we have Yapahuva fortress here, and then we have Minipe Gandheni fortress here, and then we have Govindamale fortress here. Now you see, when you look at this map, in these 3 different places, these 3 generals established 3 different fortresses in order to protect the southern part of Sri Lanka. Okay, Yapahuva fortress here, Minipe fortress here, and then the Govindamale fortress here. So then it's a kind of, if you look at this, it's kind of a barrier. Okay, so Kalingamanga was in these places. Okay, and then he was ruling this place. But the down part was protected by these 3 generals. So this happened before beginning of Dambadeniya kingdom. So from Polonnaruwa to Dambadeniya kingdom, this is what happened. So that was the political situation of Sri Lanka before the third kingdom began. So once again, I would like to summarize the lesson. We are talking about the later periods in Sri Lanka, ruling centers. We know the first kingdom, Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa, they collapsed. I explained the reason for this downfall of these two main kingdom, Anuradhapura. A Chola king came here and captured Anuradhapura, moved the kingdom to Polonnaruwa. Once again, the Polonnaruwa kingdom collapsed because there was a fourth trader called Kalingamanga. He came and captured. And then we have third kingdom, Dambadeniya kingdom. Before Dambadeniya kingdom, from the collapse of Polonnaruwa until the beginning of Dambadeniya, there were three main generals called Sanka, Subba, and Adipada Bhumigabahu. They were protecting the country, having three main fortresses in three different places. That was the political background of Sri Lanka before start of the Dambadeniya kingdom. Now we have activity. So here the fortress on the Gandhaniya rock Minipe, and then the fortress on the top of the Yapauva hill, and fortress on the top of the Govindamalaya hill, and then here we have three generals who protected the country. So you can later match them, and then this is the summary of our lesson, and then here we come to the end of our lesson today. I hope that is clear for everybody. Thank you so much.